Hello friends, welcome on my YouTube channel. I hope you're fine and well. So today we are going to continue whatever left in this particular tab of Power Query Editor. So we have Transform tab. Right now I'm going to cover all the options of our Transform tab. So first let me import dataset. So I hope you already know which dataset I am importing. So you can see text CSV. I will browse to that particular data set. So I'm going to use order and product table. Okay, so these two data set I'm going to use. So you can see it will take few seconds and it will get loaded. So you can see this is the preview of our table. Okay, order. Now I'll click on OK. Okay, so right now I will show you this particular functionality group by. So what I will do, so let me choose segment column. Okay, segment, and I want to calculate sales from different segment, how much sale we are getting. So I will click on OK. So if you observe segment, I am having multiple entries of same value like consumer. Okay, you can see it is present multiple times. Okay, so but segment wise I want to see the consolidated sales amount. Okay, I do not want everything to be in multiple entries. Otherwise what I have to do, if I want to know how much sale, total sale I am getting from consumer segment, so then whenever consumer is encountering, so I need to add this particular value, sales value. So every time whenever this particular segment is encountering, I need to okay calculate their, okay, need to sum their sales amount. Okay, so is there any way possible which will help us? It will show us the consolidated data. Yes, it is possible with the help of group by. So you can see group by is also present under home tab, and under transform tab also group by present. So both are having same functionality. Okay, so nothing different. You can see either you can use this group by or either you can use this group by. So previously in previous video I have used this group by. Right now I'm going to use this particular group by. So what I will do, I will select this column and I will click on group by. So you can see it has automatically selected segment column. Now I want to create a new column where I want to calculate total sales. Okay, so you can see I have given total sales. Okay, now after what operation I want to perform. So how can I get consolidated sales amounts? By summing all the values, right? And then on for which column I want to do the sum operation. So for sales column I want to perform sum operation. Okay, so now I'll click on OK. So you can see, so from different segment you can see I'm getting these many sales. So you can see from consumer I'm getting 4045.962. Okay, this much sale. So it is very helpful for you. Okay, so if someone asks from which segment we are having maximum sales, so you can see by seeing this data you can observe, okay, from which particular segment we are getting maximum sale and from which segment we are getting least sale, right? Now our second option is use first row as header. So let me import one data set. Okay, we have product table. So let me, I will go to, you can see I am right now home tab and I will click on new source text CSV because my file is in CSV file format. So that's why I have chosen text CSV. Now I'll click on product. I'll click on OK. Okay, so just now you can see preview of our table. Okay, now I'll click on OK. Okay, so right now you can see, but what happened once I have loaded my data set, but it is getting displayed like this, right? So our first row right now is header. Now I want to prompt this header, right? Okay, I want to make first row as header. So then I will use this option, use first row as header. So what this will do, this will make first row as header. Okay, so I will click first option, you can see. Now our first row is our header. Okay, sometimes if you do not want your headers, you want headers to be your first row, then you can use this option, use header as first row. So if you click, it will look like this. So it will create your header as a first row, but it is not good practice. Okay, always prompt header at the top, right? Now what I will do, I will choose only product ID and category name. Okay, so let me unselect all other columns and product ID and category name. Now next is transpose. Okay, so when we have to use transpose, if you want to convert our rows into column and column into rows, so right now you can see our data is looking like this. Okay, now once I will click on transpose, you can see our data will look like this. So all our rows are getting converted into columns, you can see. Okay, now again if I will click on transpose, it will look like this, but observe carefully, headers are not there. So I will go back. Okay, so let me show you. It was looking like this, right? So if it is in matrix form, okay, and you want to transpose your matrix, means you want to convert your rows into column and column into rows, then you can take help of this particular option, transpose. Then we have option of reverse rows. Okay, so if I want to make this first row as last row in my data set, right? So you can see I'm having 38 rows. Now I want to reverse the order, whole order of my table. Okay, I want to reverse, okay, these rows. So I can click on reverse row. So it will reverse my order, okay, for rows. Column will be as it is, only it will reverse the rows. Now again, if I will click on reverse rows, so I will get my previous particular row as a first row. Now let's suppose count rows, right? So right now you can see I'm able to, okay, see the number of rows, but by default it will show only 1,000 rows here. Okay, here in canvas it will show 1,000 rows. But what if my data is having more than 1,000 rows? How can I get to know how many rows, okay, are there in my particular data set? So you can take help of this particular option, count rows. So if I'll click on count rows, so you can see it will let me know how many rows, okay, are there in my this particular table product. So you can see 30 rows, 38 rows are there. Okay, so now I'll go back. Okay, so it is helpful when we have more than 1,000 rows. Okay, or let's suppose if you do not want to scroll down and see the row number, so instead of that you can use this count rows, right? Now what is the use of data type? So what I will do, I will change the data type. Let's suppose I will change to text. So right now you can see this particular column is having integer data type, right? But I have given this as a string. Okay, but I do not want. Okay, I'm confused. Okay, so what data type shall I select? Okay, so but I want Power BI will automatically suggest me the data type based on top 200 column. So then I can use this option, deduct data type. So if I will choose this option, it will automatically, means Power will automatically, okay, suggest us the data type based on the values it is containing, based on first 200, okay, number of rows, it will suggest us the data type. So you can see it, if I click on this option, get deduct data type, so you can see automatically based on the values it has suggested the data type. Okay, now if I want to rename this column, so one way is there, directly double click and rename. Okay, one more is there, select this column, right click and click on rename, right? And third option is by using transform tab. So if you want to rename this particular column, go to transform and click on rename. Okay, so there are total three ways by which you can be able to rename any particular column. Okay, Now replace values. So in Excel also, or in Word, or in Notepad, I hope you have used this value, replace and find. So it is similar to that only, nothing different. So let's suppose right now my clothing is in capitalized word, right? And I want this to be displayed in small cases, means in lower cases. So what I will do, I will make use of replace values. So what I will do, value to find means what value need to find, or we need to find. So or we need to find this particular value in this particular column, and it has to replace with this. You can see if I will click on OK, observe clothing is in capitalized word. If I will click on OK, you can see right now it is in lowercase. Wherever clothing is there, it has get converted into lowercase. So by this way you can make use of replace values. Now fill, right? So let me import my data set. Let me import my order table. So I will import. Okay, I will load my data set. Just I will and I will click on open. So it will just take few seconds. Okay, now I'll go to transform tab, fill. So where can we use fill? So let's suppose if any null value is there in our data set. So right now if you observe my feedback column, okay, so there are some empty values, right? So there are some empty values. Now instead of empty value, I want the upper values, whatever upper value is there, it to be filled with those values in my column. So let's suppose H is present here. Now two these rows are empty. Now instead of empty, I want this S to be present in these two rows. Now you can see these four rows, right, are empty. Now I want this L to be present here in these four rows. Instead of empty rows, I want L to be present here. So in this case, I will use this particular option fill. So, but before using fill option, if my cell means value is empty, I need to replace with null. Okay, so make sure, remember this carefully. You need to replace with null first. So what I will do, I will make use of replace values. I will select this column and I will click on replace values. Value to find nothing because that is empty and I want to replace with null. Okay, so you can see right now null is present. Now I will be able to fill this particular values with upper values. Okay, now if I will click on fill drop down, and if I will choose down, means the upper value will be get filled in the downward direction. Okay, means H is the upper value, it will get filled in the downward way wherever empty rows are there. So if I will click on down, so you can see previously this value, these rows were empty, right? And it is having right now H values, here L values. Now what happened? Okay, instead of this particular upper values, you want to fill the lower values. Means instead of null value, you want to fill this lower value, okay, with LL. Means these rows you want to fill with lower value. Means L is the lower value and you want to fill L to be present in this null values, right? And S to be present here in these four rows. So you can click on this particular up value. So downward value will be get filled in upward direction. You can see right now 4H is present and 2L is present. So in this way friends, you will be able to use fill value. So without replace, okay, if I will click on fill value, it will not work. You can see it is applying the step, but value it is not getting filled here. You can see, you can say fill up, fill down I have applied, but it is not getting filled here. So unless and until you need to replace with null, empty value you need to replace with null with the help of replace values, then you can fill all the values. Okay, so pivot column and unpivot column we'll see in separate video because I need to create data set for these two. Okay, move is easy. Okay, so let's suppose I want this particular column, I want to move, okay, this column to left. Okay, so I can make use of this move value. So you can see I want to move this column to be present before my product ID feedback column. I need to, okay, place before my product ID. So I will click on left. So you can see before product ID this particular column is present. In the same way, if you want to place this column to the beginning, so right now if I will scroll right, at the beginning order ID is present, but you want this particular column feedback column to be present as a beginning column. So under transform tab, click on drop down and click on to beginning. You can see right now my first column is feedback. Now you want to make this column as last column, so just click on to end, right? If you want to move one position left, so click on left. So you can see now if you want to move one position right, so you can click on right. So this will move one position rightward into rightward direction. So I hope friends this video was helpful for you. So I hope you like this video. Please subscribe my channel, and thank you so much for watching this video, friends.